So, if you're watching this video, chances are you're well on board with the global M2 money supply and its correlation with BTC. But if you're anything like me, it's been doing you nothing knowing whether it should be the 108-day delay or the 80-day or somewhere in between. Anyway, it bothered me that much that I've really gone to town to try and find some patterns and a way in which to give early signs that it may be shifting. Because if you've been watching Colin Talks Crypto, and big kudos and a big thanks to him on behalf of myself and the community for what he's created. And if you don't know what I'm on about, the script you're seeing on screen was created by him. So go and subscribe, go and download it from him. He's giving it away for free. But you will have realised that it's not one period offset continuously. It does change. So whilst it's all well and good, yeah, we can see the general direction. It's like, well, when does this change? So like I say, I have gone to town. I mean, just look at it. It's everywhere, and it will make sense to you, I promise. This is the 80-day offset, all right? And this is the 108. And I'm going to run through this because I think I found some patterns and some insights to take on board so you can work it out on your own, basically, effectively. The early warning signs of when it's going to change, because as you know, it's crystal clear right now. We're the closer correlation is with the 80-day, right? But this could well change. So where does it all come from? Or what's the key factors? So what I've done is, you can see here, you've got all these percentages, and D, that stands for percentage deviation. All right. So where these are, these points, that's the percentage difference to where they are vertically above. And I'm not going to circle more. You can see them. We'll be here all day. But we've got 23% deviation here, 18%, 23%, 26%, 21, 17. Then we're getting into 12. All right. Then 13 and now 11. So you can see how this was way off. Now, if we go to the 108 day, we had 10, 8, 10, 10, 9, and we had a 20% one on the 2nd of March. I'll come back to that in a second. And then a 14. Now, obviously, there can be some fake outs here, and I'm going to come to that in a second. But then we had really tight correlation, look. Yeah, so at this point, still thinking it's on board. Even here, we had only a 10%, but then it's now shot up. Here, look, on the 17th, where was it? Sorry, no, a bit later, here. On the 22nd, we shot up to a 20% deviation, which was this point here. And today, it's 23%. So what is clear here is that for all this period, the 108 was the driving factor, or the right offset. But now we are 23%. So this serves as confirmation to me, personally anyway, that the 108 day is not the one to be following at this moment in time. Now, if we look to this, you think, all right, Paul, well, look here, what's this 2nd of March? Yeah, there was 20%. Well, if we have a look what happened that day, 2nd of March, crypto reserve news brings bulls back, right? So what's actually happened is, due to this news, it's been manipulated, or it's artificial, if you like, or it's impacted its natural progression to where it wanted to go because of the news. All right. So what I think is powerful here is, if there has been a tight correlation up until that point, and then there's something like this and it's to the news, what that would be telling me is, if I'd have known back then at this point, that could have been an excellent profit taking opportunity. Because it wasn't possible to be sustained. Yeah, it was due to it being manipulated, due to whatever you want to say about it, or just the news coming out, right? And then it followed its natural progression with its tight correlation back to here. Now, I want to tell you about a mistake I made with this so you can learn from it. Because we got around here and we were coming down here, and I saw what had happened in the past, and I could see this here. And at that time, I was thinking, well, it's the 108 day, right? So what I did is on the pump, I thought what this was this, and I actually sold my render. Turns out to be a mistake. So you live and learn. But because at that time I thought, well, hold on, this went like that. Its natural progression is to come back down to here. I'm selling into the pump. At the time, my bias was I think we're going to come down here. So that's why I made that calculated decision. So what I can learn from this is the percentage difference, and I don't know what that was actually. Can't quite click on my measuring tool at the moment, recording device in a way, but it's obviously not great enough. So for me moving forward, the deviation would have had to been much higher. But that's just on a side note. I just think there's powerful things to be taken from this when you start seeing deviations, and to ask yourself, hold on, was that because of some kind of event? Because it could be a great time to buy or sell depending which way it's deviating, and to be mindful of that. But anyway, getting to the point here is that we can see how we went here. We're down to 10% and now we're up to 23. So at the moment, the 108 day is out of kilter. But you can see here that this was the 80 day before. This was well out of kilter. It wasn't until we got to here on 27th of March, 12%. There's 12% deviation. And here, at this point, and I'm sorry, I'm going to make sense of all this. I know it looks like a dog's dinner, but just bear with me. So if we go vertical up to about this point, that was a 13%. And today, it's 11%. So it appears, based on, and I appreciate there's not a load of data points here, and I probably need to do some more detailed analysis on this. And these percentages have been rounded up or rounded down to the nearest percent. So don't take them as verbatim. But when we consider, look at all this, 8, 9, 10, 10. And we've got here when this correlation started. So it would appear 8 to 12 days, as long as you're within that kind of range, then that should help give you some further conviction that whatever the time span you're on, or offset time span you're on, is the one to remain on. Okay. I think that's the huge takeaway. And I'm not seeing anyone else covering deviations or the percentage in terms of differences. Now, what I did do is then at the time I thought, well, what would a 13% deviation look like? And as you can see here, from this point, that'd be 85. So if we have a 13% deviation to the upside, it'd be 96. But equally, if it was down to another 13%, we could be down to 74. And then I looked at other points. So we've got the 10th of May here, and we've also got the 18th of May. These are very similar. And to save it, cluttering it even more, the figures would be about the same. So both on the 10th and 18th of May, again, a 13% swing in deviation would see us 100 grand or down to 77. All right. And then on the 14th of June, which is when there's this bigger drop, we'll be looking at 83, nearly 84, 96, and then 13% above that. What's that? 111, 112, I don't know, maths roughly. So that's where we could be going. Now, obviously, you don't want to be just basing your decisions on what this is actually just, telling you on its own. Of course, we're looking at charts. What I did do is I had a look at the charts here. So what we've got is we've got a long-term downward trend here. We've got the previous uptrend going up there, and we've got this recent uptrend. We've got resistance around about 95.5, demand zone between 88 and 91, give or take. But my takeaway from this when we're looking at the charts is look at this, your volume's declining. And also we've got below average volume. Now the case for the bulls is the momentum is in the they've got the momentum. We're across the EMAs. We're going up here, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if we break this and it's a bull trap, and we end up maybe touching 100 grand. But to take in consideration where we're at with QT, volume in the market, and how quickly we've gone up here. I mean, the other thing to know is this trend is only 25% as an angle, and usually you need 25 to 45% for a strong trend. Now, let's be clear, I don't know. No one knows. If anyone's telling you they know what's happening, ignore them. No one can call it, right? But excuse me, but for me, it is way too risky at this moment in time. I'd rather wait for a break one way or the other, and something to be very mindful of, especially if you're new, is if we do end up coming down here, we could easily come down to here, right? This 88, 87, test this and go up here, or we could get in no man's land again here and start bouncing up and down. And when you consider Bitcoin dominance is likely to increase, alts are just going to bleed. They're going to bleed even more. So you need to be taking consideration your risk tolerance. So that's why I'm sitting back and waiting. But it's interesting, isn't it, that you look at 77, and if we go back here, look, 77. So this should only be used as guidance and general direction. But I'm hoping that I've given you something that you can use. All you need to do is use a little measuring tool on the left trading view, take the distance from the 2 points, and then record it. And so far, it looks like a pretty good metric. Well, it's given me some confidence anyway, and I hope it has you. I'm in a small group, and they were loving it, so I just figured I'd come out and share this with you. And I really hope you've enjoyed it. For those of you who are still watching this, a couple of things since the last time I did a video. I know I've disappeared for 6 months. I'm sorry. That's partly, well, that's because I've been doing my own project and I couldn't keep that up and work, and I'm looking forward to getting out with you guys. My life's completely changed. I've left everyone. I know I've left a girlfriend of 14 years, my friends, my family. I've left. In fact, let me just show you this, right? Where are we? If it comes up, I don't know if I can find it here. So I left this place. This is where I used to live, right in Nottingham, and now I live here. I moved to the Isle of Man. I don't know whether I've been incredibly brave or very stupid, because I know call on this island. And I know what you're thinking, I move for tax reasons, that's part of it, but I just wasn't happy. Just wasn't happy. Life's too short, and many different reasons. So yeah, just up to off. And then finally, I'm sorry I look a tramp. I've been poorly. I've been in hospital for the last 5 days. So, but I'm on the mend. I should be able to have an operation in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So, just for those of you who actually give a shit. If you don't, no problem. But yeah, so I just want to share that with you, and I hope it's been of some value. If you do like it, please give it a subscribe and a little comment. It'd be nice to get some coverage on this. All right, guys. And well, what I would say, finish by saying, yeah, please do that, because then it gives me the motivation if you want to see more stuff like this. Because I do it for myself, but if you guys want to see more of this stuff, then yeah, please do let me know. All right. Until the next one. Cheers.